Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today I'm playing another live game for you, and this time around it is going to be a Zerg vs Protoss played on King Sejong Station. And King Sejong Station is definitely the biggest 1 versus 1 maps or 1 versus 1 map in the current map pool. I know you have Frost Alley actually, but technically speaking that is going to be a 4-player map, so I don't know. I don't actually know which one is bigger. But long story short, this map is really good to open up on with a double hatchery before starting up the spawning pool. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing as well right now. So I can take my hands off the keyboard, do a little bit of stretching in between, right? Just because I need to wait for my drone to walk all the way over towards this third base. The reason why this is obviously possible, and wow, my opponent is actually going to stop me from doing it. The reason why this is possible is for the simple reason, I did already start my pool and my gas by the way, but the simple reason that the chance of the Protoss stopping it is very slim. More often than not, they're gonna be opening up with a Nexus first themselves as well, so I'm quite surprised by this whole situation right now. But either way, we'll see if he cancels it. No, he actually lets it live, which is actually just fine for me. I responded fast enough there, immediately had my gas as well as my spawning pool going up, which is technically slightly delayed, and it's gonna, you know, cut into my production just a tad. But all in all, it won't make that big of a difference. Now, I can definitely make my third someplace else, but I really don't wanna. I'm just gonna go ahead now and make the double queens, couple of links, and then eventually we're gonna be able to get this this base started as well. So here we go, double queens begun, and I'm gonna be starting up a set of Zerglings right now that we'll scout around with, but more importantly also see if we can kill that pylon with. Now we do notice right now that there is an expansion down in my opponent's base real early. Gotta have to make sure that I get some scouting going on around, you know, a minute or so from now with my overlord. So I'm sending the second overlord towards the back of his main base, or you know, the bottom side of his main base, so I can go ahead and fly that one in when it is going to be necessary. Now I'll use these two links right here for scouting purposes. These will be able to run out of there just fine, and we're going to be starting up another base as well as another overlord. Alrighty, so I need to make sure I gotta find out whether or not that probe is still hanging out anywhere over here. Obviously, probes can be quite deadly. We do see another gateway being added on right now. Pretty sure I injected with you, sir. Or ma'am, rather. Excuse me. Don't want to upset the queen. But all in all, looks like that probe did end up leaving us. And all in all, not too worried about this situation. Okay. Now he is currently hunting that overlord. Could be a little bit annoying. Just in case, I'm going to go ahead and make another one. And now that we are getting close to 3.5 minutes, that is also where I'm going to be starting up this overlord scout. Obviously he's busy right now killing one of my other overlords, and everything considered, this is looking pretty good. Now I'll go ahead here, make another overlord here, because I may end up losing 2, which would be a little bit annoying. But I'm also starting up a round of Zerglings as well as my spore crawlers, and the spore crawlers are going to be here for scouting purposes. And here we do indeed see that Oracle go down. Oracle should get to my side of the map around 3 minutes and 30, or about 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the map. By that time, my spores will indeed be done, and it's gonna be just fine. Alrighty. So, this basically means him opening up with a Stargate like this basically means to me that I'm gonna be allowed to make a bunch more workers here for a little while. I did get my roach warren just in case. May have to make a couple of roaches in a little bit too, but all in all, this is looking pretty dang safe for me. Now, we'll put up 2 more scouting links, and we do indeed see that he already got that third base started, which is the massive indication that I am allowed to do whatever I please here for the foreseeable future. Technically speaking, I could try and go ahead and see if I could, you know, counter that, or I could let my opponent, you know, take a ton of pressure and cross my fingers, hope he messes up his micro or whatever. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, as I know that if he's a good player, that's not gonna happen. Like, he's never gonna allow me to really do any damage whatsoever. So he's actually running towards my my newly acquired third. He knows about that now. A little bit unfortunate, because he does manage to get the kill. But all in all, I'm not too worried about this scenario. Gonna go ahead and start up my double evolution chamber, and we're gonna drone up as greedily as we possibly can. Now, greedily droning basically just means that you make non-stop workers, right? I got tabs on what he's doing. I got still relatively good map vision as well. And just in case, I'm gonna grab these watchtowers too. But here's my plan, okay? I want to be going for a lot of Zerglings, but more importantly, a lot of Hydralisk. I know that he's not going to be pushing out here just yet, or generally speaking, they won't be doing that for another little while. It looks like he's actually gonna go ahead here and be a little bit aggressive with some Void Rays. A little bit surprising. Just in case, I'll just add on another queen. But I think we're alright. I think we're gonna be... Oh man, I didn't need to do that. I meant to select my my overlords there. Lost a couple of minerals there, but not too big. Not too big of an amount. Gonna get those gases started too. Might end up losing an overlord. But all in all, this is looking alright. Alrighty. So this is where we start making the Hydralisk. This is where we start making the Hydras. Just because I need to be having a look at exactly what is going on there. And it looks like he has an observer too, which is fine for me. That does mean that I need to replace that, you know, that creep tumor there in a little bit, but that's fine. Because I am just allowed to do whatever I want right now until this very moment in time. And the fact of the matter is that he is going for Void Rays apparently. Now Void Rays are good once you get a big amount of them. If you have a small amount of them, they're pretty terrible. And then since I plan on pushing, once my Evo Chamber upgrades finish, I should have a suitable amount of Hydras to at the very least do some pressure. Now my goal is not so much to kill him with that attack, but to mostly like cripple him. I don't want Protoss to max out. Maxed out Protoss is scary. I already have a fort base going up right now. If he attacks into me, that would be brilliant. Obviously, I will be reinforcing here with Zerglings as I am getting melee upgrades. For those of you that have been paying very close attention, that generally speaking means I'm going to tech up a little bit faster. Also, I'm going to get the Lurker Den now. And we're going to start reinforcing with more Zerglings now too, because he could very well be getting to my side of the map very, very soon, which I would like. I would like him to get to my side of the map right now. Doesn't look like he's here yet, though. Alright, we're gonna start pushing ourselves. +1/+1 is just about to finish up. We're gonna transition into massive amounts of Zerglings. Hydra upgrade is already done. Gonna be starting up +2/+2 upgrades as soon as I possibly can. But we'll see if we can do some pressure here. A little bit of pushing. Now, if he does... Oh, man, he took a 4th? That is much too greedy. Although, that is a really, really nicely played positional game there by him. But I still think I have got way too many units here for him to properly try and hold this. Yeah, that is extremely greedy by him. I was wondering why he was getting the Void Rays, but now it just makes sense, right? He's trying to max out on them, which is fine by me. But we're gonna go ahead and punish this by just simply marching across the map and see if we can finish this one. I'm gonna be starting up the infestation pit here just in case as well. I'm gonna set the rally point of my bases towards the 4th. Gonna start rallying my lings over there too, but I think, or my queens over there too, but I think I got way too much right now for him to properly take this engagement. I may be mistaken, of course. But all in all, I got a ton of units now, and he just lost a lot of his stuff that he had planned. Now, I want to make sure that I don't lose any of my... Oh man. Any of my bases. And obviously, if I can avoid, or if I can avoid losing my Hydras, that would be extremely helpful. Got a ton more stuff coming in here. Gonna start making sure that I get my upgrades going. And we're cleaning up as much as possible right now. Now, I don't think I engaged that as good as I could have. Probably could have engaged that a little bit better. Save my Hydras for a little while longer. But all in all, this is looking pretty dang good. Okay. Now that my Lurker Den is done, I can go ahead and morph in Lurkers. And Lurkers are basically going to be taking out whatever he's got. So I'm gonna remove those units from the hotkey that I had. Make sure that I got 2 separate hotkeys for my army. Did lose a Queen Inject just now, obviously. Because I had to clean up that one unit. But all in all, I am not too worried about this. Got my Lurkers ready to go. Wow. And we're reinforcing with as many units here as possible. Now, ideally, I want to get a setup going on here where he's not going to be able to rally from his natural towards the main. There's actually Dark Templar. That's why he targeted down my army like that. Oh, man, nicely done by him, actually. And he's going to be capable of cleaning up a lot of the units that I had. Very nicely done by him, actually. All right, it's time for me to start droning up. I think if I would have played a little bit better there, I would have been capable of cleaning up that base. Or at least like one of those bases there. Now, I gotta make sure that I don't die here, obviously. Gonna go start up the Ultra Cavern. Start up +3 upgrades. We still have a lot of army, though. I don't think he wants to be playing too aggressive here either. Although I could be mistaken. Don't have too much army left over here, but... my production is pretty insane here, and I actually do have a lot of units. Cool strategy of what he's doing, actually. I like this usage of DT a lot. Instead of cheesing with them, he's going for a more safe, like, usage of it. And it allows him to probably secure that base. Which is rather bad for me, to be completely honest with you. Okay. Ultra Cavern will be done soon. Gonna go for +3/+3 upgrades. But he's actually pushing right now. And he gets it. He actually gets it. That is really, really nicely done by my opponent. I think if I would have microed slightly better, I could have picked up the victory earlier on into this game. But I'm gonna have to remake this base. I'm gonna have to remake this base because I got barely any income right now. And this is looking quite bad. This is looking quite bad indeed. Alright. I'll start up this base here in the middle too. I generally try and avoid that one, but I think it's gonna be best in this particular scenario. And look how much income I'm currently lacking. This is looking terrible for me. I mean, if he gets his units up that ramp, that could actually be game over for me. I mean, I got a lot of army that can take that out, but I think, I mean, he's just got the sheer numbers advantage right now. Now, we got Ultras coming in. Ultras are obviously great when they've got upgrades, but I just spend a lot of resources into getting upgrades that aren't going to be of use for another little while, so I'm definitely behind at this point in the game. Now, if I can hold on here, if I can indeed hold on, I still think we have a chance. Just because I got a really good upgrade advantage. Upgrades are huge in this matchup. That does mean, though, that I can't really allow him to get, you know, too many units going here either. But we need to start mining from this base, though. Like, we really need to get another base up. I'm gonna go ahead and try and retake that one. Ultras are going to be available now. Don't know if chitinous plating is already done. Sending out the queens right now, too. Okay, this is good. There we go. Adding on more lurkers because I'm pretty gas heavy. Sending the queens back to their original places, making sure that we start rallying those in as soon as we can. Okay. So, I'm trying to get an army right now that's gonna be good against his. Now, we know, or he knows right now that I got my Ultras out, right? So what will his likely response be? Is he gonna go Immortal? Is he gonna go for something else? I can't really say. I don't really know. Anyhow, I'm gonna put up... oh man, he's actually going for the push? I don't know if you should do that. Okay, good. We got Lurker. Lurkers are great. Looks like he indeed is adding on Immortal. Immortal are good, but if he overextends on them, we can go ahead and just transition in towards a whole bunch of Mutalisk. I'm still behind though. I just simply lack economy. Like, I just don't have enough stuff here. He still has the chance of transitioning towards... oh, we're gonna need some anti-air. But there's still the chance that... still a chance that he's gonna go ahead and you know, just add on more stalkers. I'm gonna try and see if I can catch him, to be honest. He's got so much stuff here, though. So many immortals. If the links can get in there, that would be huge. There we go. Going for the transfuse here. Okay. Reinforcing with maximum amount of units. Although apparently I hit a supply block. Because I lost a bunch of my links. Or a bunch of my overlords. But all in all, that was a good push. That was a really nice push. Now, he's probably switching into a heck of a lot of immortals, right? So here's what we do. We're gonna transition towards our own switch too. I need to make sure I hide Mutalisk. I need to make sure I hide my Mutalisk for as long as we possibly can. Now, he's gonna have 5 bases here at the very least, which is kind of bad for us. But it is what it is. I got a ton of gas saved up. And I'm gonna just start pressuring here. I'll just start pressuring to see what I can get done. I'll run a couple of these links around this way too. Okay. And I don't know. We're doing a lot of damage to him at this point in the game. But I don't think I got enough mutas here. I got very little of them. We're doing a ton of worker damage. And I'm trying to clean up as much of this army as we possibly can. But man, did my opponent manage to hold on nicely there. I'm actually really impressed by his movement. And we did end up falling behind because of it. I tried doing a tech switch. I think that was the correct one. We just simply did not have the economy to properly follow this up with. And my opponent is going to be picking up the victory. Now, a loss is only really a loss if you don't learn anything from it, right? Obviously, I could just jump out of this game, queue up once again, and see if I can win next time around. But I think I was in a really powerful position here, at least initially into this game. There were a couple of moments where I thought I could have finished up the game, and it could very well just be that I mismicroed, that I just simply did not control my army very well when I was initially pushing into his third base. But maybe I overextended. Maybe I was falling behind in economy someplace else, and maybe I overextended. So let's try and figure out in this replay right now to see exactly what went wrong here and what I could have done in order to prevent that. So early game is all about droning up, and I think I did that well. As you can see, I managed to drone up really aggressively, and I had a nice push going with +1/+1 as well as a whole bunch of Hydras. And I felt really confident when I killed this base, right? This base went down, and I think I was in a really good spot at that point. Look at the supply count, right? So I definitely had a really good advantage. So what exactly went wrong here, and where did we go and gave up this game, or where did we, you know, push in a little bit too aggressively? So here is what I think happened at first that was a little bit of a mistake. I pushed in here into the photon overcharge thinking it was going to be fine. Obviously though, Hydralisk are still Hydralisk. In particular with Blink, you can get a lot of value out of them, and photon overcharge just absolutely murders everything. I push in here with a lot of reinforcements still coming in, and I end up losing a whole chunk of my supply. Really, I don't think I needed to do that. I think I could have just waited a little bit longer and just, you know, waited until I had my reinforcements ready to go. Now, here's where I switch into Lurker, and I thought I was still in a good spot. Now, Stalker obviously still basically counter all the units that we have as Zerg. I mean, they are really good against pretty much all the stuff. And he does manage to hold on here quite nicely as well. This is where I'm transitioning towards the Ultralisk Cavern, or towards the Hive to get the Ultralisk Cavern going. But this is where I got caught off guard. This is, I think, where I lost the massive advantage. First and foremost, I think I could have cleaned up the game if I would have just simply waited for my reinforcements longer and wasn't eating so much photon overcharge. I mean, the Mothership Core was dealing a lot more damage than it was allowed to. But on top of that, I should have anticipated, like, Dark Templar. I knew that he had Blink. I had Overlords nearby. There was no particular reason for me not to have Overseers here. And, I mean, he put all of his eggs in one basket, right? Like, he had nothing as a follow-up here. It was literally just Stalkers and a couple of Dark Templar. And if I would have just simply had Detection, I would have been a-okay. I'm pretty sure I would have been a-okay. So this is where I'm forced to, like, leave his base. I start morphing in Overseers, and I'm still actually at a supply advantage. I also start droning up once again, but this is really where I think the game was going to be lost. And that was really nicely done by my opponent. So next time around, when I see Blink Stalker play, just simply make a couple of Overseers, and I should have been able to clean up the victory. Now, past this mistake, I still made some mistakes that really allowed my opponent to push onwards. Primarily me not anticipating him jumping forward and killing this base. If I would have produced or positioned my Lurkers differently, I don't think he would have been, you know, committing quite as heavily into that. Like, say that was going to be a Lurker right there at the corner. I don't think he would have committed to doing that blink forward and trying to take out, you know, my bases there. So, all in all, extremely well played here by my opponent. Obviously, it taught me a lesson of just simply bringing Overseers. I know it's one of those basic things and something that most of you will be aware of. Like, as soon as you see Blink Stalker, Blink, you know, indicates that he's got Twilight Council. Therefore, there's a chance that he's got the Dark Shrine. And it's a really good follow-up when you know you just lost your base. I just want to go back real quick to see when exactly it was he started up that Dark Shrine. Was it when he lost the 5th base or the 4th base here? Or did he just decide to go for that switch before that already? Because that is what I'm most curious about here. So this is where he's going to go ahead and take that expansion. And there is no Dark Shrine down just yet. There's no Dark Shrine down just yet. I wonder when he decided to go for it. Alright, he decides to go for it right now. So it was indeed part of his strategy. I mean, this is right before he pushed into my... or before he saw my push coming in. So it wasn't really a response to seeing what, you know, I was producing here. So all in all, I really should have just anticipated this being an option. When I scouted with the Overlord here initially, obviously I only saw the Stargate as, you know, I just simply... I was a little bit too early for him to put down all of this tech, and really the Stargate was the immediate threat we knew that, we should have dealt with. But as soon as I realized there was Blink, I should have been anticipating that right around 8 minutes or so in-game, there was the chance of Dark Templar wrecking my army. And that's exactly what ended up happening here as well. So minor mistake ended up costing me the game, obviously on top of a couple of other ones that I could have quite easily countered. You know, very well played though by my Protoss opponent here. I like the style of, you know, using the oracles here to make sure that you slow down your opponent and trying to hold on to your expansions. It's a different style of Protoss that is the standard right now. And I can always really appreciate that. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this game, even though it was a loss. We learned something, right? Hopefully, at the very least a little bit. And other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!